following is an AI-based parody, created for satire and entertainment purposes. All voices, conversations, and scenarios are artificially generated and do not represent the opinions, actions, or voices of any individuals represented. This content is not meant to confuse or misinform.
Who's ready to see me end the Geth conflict once and for all?
I'm ready to see you fight those 3 Geth primes.
Yeah, once and for all before one of them decides they don't like the answer to 2 + 2 = 4 anymore.
Before we get to that, looks like you've got a cat fight on your hands, Joe.
I always side with Tali here.
Yeah, obviously.
Siding with Tali is Paragon, and naturally no one wants to side against our favorite Quarian. But it's worth pointing out that siding with Admiral Zen will get you, I believe, 45 points in war assets.
A rare W for the Renegade players, and it forces you to side against Tali.
Yeah, Zen and I don't care about the points.
That's fine. It's not like I'm playing. Do what you will, Joe.
You can always send a salvage team later.
Unless there isn't a later because we're defeated due to a lack of Geth technology.
I'm not going to let that happen despite yours and Garrow's best efforts.
What does Zen even get for you here anyway?
Zen's research team would have salvaged some advanced AI relays from the wreckage of the Geth Dreadnought we blew up. She uses it to write a custom VI that oversees the energy output of the Crucible's fusion reactors, allowing it to adjust itself automatically.
Sounds cool. Not worth siding against Tali.
Is she implying the Quarians were lied to about the events of the war?
I mean, duh. I wouldn't expect the Quarians to talk about or remember all the dissent against shutting down the Geth.
Even if that's the case, it still doesn't absolve the bots.
Of course not. Again, that's just another example of Mass Effect 3 trying to sanitize the Geth of their crimes so we care about them more.
Thank you, Commander.
Commander, we've got reports of trouble at a Turian fuel depot on Sion.
I guess I'm going to take care of that too?
You know, I actually forgot about this mission. Yeah, go ahead, finish that up before heading to Rannoch.
And just in time. I hope we can help the Quarians.
I feel like all we've been doing is helping the Quarians.
Between killing a bunch of Geth in 1, letting them keep Veeder in 2, saving Tali on Haestrom, and freeing the ship in Tali's loyalty mission, yeah, I'd say we've done a lot, even without counting the business in 3.
We'll do anything for Tali, of course.
If that's the case, kill the Geth like you know she wants you to.
I said I'd do anything, not everything.
The Quarians have done pretty well with those suits. Maybe they can make something like that for you.
Yeah, they have. Protective medical exoskeleton.
We don't even see Joker using his leg braces to get around, so I'm not surprised they won't give him an exoskeleton.
Armor totally screws with my spatial awareness.
I wear heavy armor, and my spatial awareness is perfect.
You crashed the last shuttle you flew, Vega.
To save the day, Pendejo.
Joe, please leave the Spanish to Vega.
Flying. I need to feel the ship moving with me. You take that away, and I don't know. I mean, I'm good, but I'm not me.
Yeah, I get that.
Plus, have you seen Tali? Come on, I don't have the hips to carry a suit like that.
That's my boy Joker.
Bold of him to say that when his girl is right next to him.
I mean, there's nowhere on the Normandy where Edie isn't in earshot.
Hammered out there. Apparently, putting a big-ass gun on an agriculture ship doesn't magically turn it into a dreadnought. Who knew?
But apparently you can give an agriculture Geth unit a Widow rifle and it turns them into a soldier.
Speaking of which, that Widow rifle shouldn't have existed in that recording either.
They're also more likely to be targeted when armed. The Geth would have ignored unarmed civilian ships as tactically insignificant.
Doesn't that support that the Geth wouldn't have bothered killing civilians or any retreating Quarians during the Morning War?
Oh boy, here we go.
Maybe now after 300 years of growth, but it's probably more likely that the Geth in their infancy couldn't identify or even understand the concept of a non-combatant.
What's going on, Edie?
After all, the Quarians were shooting all of them indiscriminately. The Geth learned it from their creators.
We can converse if you like, Shepard. It is a routine procedure. Uh-oh.
What? What happened?
Nothing. Unless you have strong feelings about gamma radiation.
We're gonna become the Incredible Hulk.
I don't think radiation is something to joke about in space. Like, why are all her jokes so dark? What happened to good old Knock Knock, who's there?
Given that Edie can constantly search the extra net, it's a wonder her jokes aren't a lot worse. While we're here, we got an email saying that Cerberus is trying to restart Project Overlord.
Please don't make me jump over the lava rivers again.
Is this another text-based mod mission?
It is. Joe can do it before he heads to Sion.
Well, this time we're dropping a fucking bomb on the facility.
Ah yes, our favorite pastime. You're looking mighty relaxed for a man who should be dead.
News. I've tracked down some of the people I was looking for.
Wow, a rare happy outcome in Mass Effect 3.
Found J Squad, Black Ops. They're holed up making a stand in the Midwest, in Chicago.
Oh cool, they're in my old stomping grounds.
Aren't you from Hawaii or something?
Yes, I'm glad you finally got that fact through your skull, but I was also a state senator repping the 13th district, which is Chicago.
Well, at least that's better than being a senator from, was it New Hampshire, Joe?
It was Delaware, goddammit, and f*** you.
But synthetics do not evolve.
Is this another argument?
I'm surprised he didn't start fighting with Edie sooner.
That is not accurate. I can modify my own programming if I choose.
That is not evolution. That is simply an upgrade.
I mean, humans upgrade themselves with surgery. How's that different from Edie changing her programming?
And what if your upgrade endangers others? All machines eventually see organics as a threat.
Only those organics.
Oh, Edie just started turning red. She's getting angry.
Javik is real brave. Wasn't there something about how Edie could vent the cargo hold?
She does say she could vent it in 28 seconds when we're talking about Grunt.
Subjugate the other races of your time. You enslaved them.
We dominated them.
I don't see the distinction there, Javik.
He would have enslaved us too if his plan to bring 1 million protheans to the current cycle panned out.
Or left us to face the Reapers alone.
Hardly. True life is more than a code upgrade. It is shaped by the forces around us. Machines are immune to those forces. You exist outside of nature.
But what if nature created those machines? And by nature, I mean organics.
That's an interesting question, Joe.
Synthetics do not evolve. You are limited by your programming.
Anyway, I'm siding with Edie.
Let's simmer down, you two.
I can't believe you put the lives of your crew in the hands of this machine.
Javik, normally I'd agree, but if she wants you dead, you'd be ejected the moment you return to your quarters on Deck 4.
You know this is the second time we've had to settle a debate between an organic and a synthetic in the AI core.
If I had a nickel moment.
As you wish, Commander.
The doctor had a front row seat to that.
Probably the most entertaining thing she's had to watch all week.
Dad?
First time we're hearing the voice of Garrus's old man.
Dad, are you there? Come in.
This really makes me all the more regretful that we didn't get a mission on Palaven where we get to rescue Garrus's family.
Hurt? How bad?
A busted leg isn't
Dad,
all
you
too
have to
bad
get out
considering
there.
the Reaper lasers and everything. That's rough, buddy.
At least this is one occurrence where a squad mate has a good relationship with their father.
Spirits, if you really do exist, please watch over them. Let me see them again.
As you might recall from the Shadow Broker dossiers, Garrus also has a strained relationship with his sister Solana. She asks for him to return home when their mother is unwell, which he can't do since the exchange happens right before the suicide mission. For all Garrus knew at the time, he was on his way to die. He seemed to make amends with Castus, but we don't know if he patched things up with Solana before the war started.
All the more reason we should have had a mission where we meet them on Palaven.
There is new information on the private messages terminal.
All right, anyone care to bet if Liara has any words for us, or are we wasting our time here?
I'm pretty sure there's nothing here.
Surely she won't have less to say to us than Glyph, right?
Well, let's find out then, Joe.
Good to see you again, Shepard.
You gotta be f***ing kidding me.
I guess all our dialogue is in the first half of the game.
It's still weird she has nothing to say about the Geth consensus, like nothing at all.
I've got to say, I enjoyed that last mission on Rannoch.
Ain't no way Cortez has more to say than our actual squad mate does.
Looks like James decided shooting the shit down here with Cortez instead of having deeply awkward conversations with Javik was a better use of his time, even though he has a dozen Geth primes right behind him.
And if you stow the attitude, it might even be for picking you up again.
I think these boys like each other.
Just a couple of dudes jabbing each other.
They're a lot like you and Joe.
No, they're not. I hate this guy.
I can't believe you went inside a Geth. I don't even... Loco. Completely local.
A very productive observation there, James.
All right, let's see what's going on with Project Overlord.
Nothing good, I'm sure.
They're playing the Sad David song from the DLC.
That pretty much guarantees a total disaster has occurred.
You're going to have the option to just start the attack or scan the planet Joe, scan it for more dialogue.
All right, bet.
The Normandy arrives and Edie announces that there are no human life signs, but the AI is broadcasting a message. It is a fully sentient AI and wants to negotiate. It doesn't appear hostile, but we have no clue what happened to the human technicians. An EMP will wipe it out, leaving the hardware intact for future use with new software code. Alternatively, we can allow Edie to negotiate with this AI however the N7 squadrons are being deployed. If the defenses aren't disabled, they'll be vulnerable. What are you thinking, boys?
Well, you should all know where I land on this bomb that bitch.
I mean, it's not actively hostile.
True, but it most definitely killed the humans that created it.
Those were Cerberus guys that did us a favor.
We can't use an AI created by this place. Think about David.
Also, it's a Cerberus invention. It could be a trap.
Barry, you're talking like you don't know the answer.
I mean, I know the outcomes, but I'm not telling you what you should do. Just do what you think is best, Joe.
The robot lover over here is obviously going to save it.
No, I don't think I will. This is too dubious. It might not be hostile now, but we don't know anything about this thing it's Cerberus made, and we've got N7 guys at risk if it ends up attacking them. Plus, with the Reapers doing their thing, we can't risk bringing any new AI into the playing field.
So you're going to drop the EMP?
Yeah, let's get it out of here.
It's about damn time you got over the bots.
So how did things go?
By dropping the EMP, we've gotten synthetic platforms retrofitted with an Alliance AI. They're armed with the latest combat tech, advanced cloaking, and self-repair systems. This amounts to 24 points in war assets. The image for these platforms implies all of them look like Edie.
Holy hell, Joe actually made the best choice all trilogy.
What if I had Edie negotiate?
You get fewer points for that, 19 of them overall.
I really did stumble into the right choice.
All right, that's enough of the sad music.
N7 assignment time.
N7 fuel reactors takes place on the multiplayer map called Firebase Reactor. In the Retaliation DLC, the map gets a hazard that will cause it to fill with radiation, though it doesn't actually do anything detrimental if you neglect to vent it.
Yeah, that's cool and all, Barack, but when are you going to hit me with the real facts?
What do you mean, real facts?
I'm talking about the fact that Scion, the planet this mission takes place on, is guarded by Asari matriarchs.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I guess Donald gets to drop the info this time.
Scion was assaulted repeatedly during the Krogan rebellions, but was never occupied by more than a token force. The Asari present on this colony were able to cut off Krogan supply lines and drive them off. The matriarchs aren't there for you, Donald. They're stationed on Scion to defend it, vowing that it won't fall to any enemy, be it organic or synthetic.
Yeah, that's cool too, I guess.
Joe, why did you look Corporal Nyrek up and down like that?
Oh, sorry, I was just realizing he's a Turian and serving with a member of the Alliance. 3 tours implies he's been with Lee Riley for around a couple years.
I guess Shepard isn't the only one with a Turian best friend.
If you recall, Lee Riley is also another N7.
Man, Turians and N7 graduates go together like salt and pepper.
And if you hadn't noticed, she carries a greater rank than Shepard in the Alliance.
Well, Shepard exists outside the chain of command anyway.
We really need to see to Shepard getting a proper promotion when this Reaper business is done and over with.
I feel like Shepard will always be Commander Shepard. Just as Master Chief is always Master Chief, the rank is synonymous with their identity at this point. Captain or Admiral Shepard just don't hit the same.
Oh God, a puzzle.
We're going to be here a while.
Joe, that really should not have taken you 10 minutes.
Well, all right, wise guy. Let's see you take a crack at it.
It was like 3 button presses.
Well, excuse me, I can't slap Omni gel onto it and get the solution like you did on the Novria puzzle.
Commander, Captain, checking movement in your areas. Defensive positions, enemy inbound.
I'm praying for your downfall here, Joe.
What else is new?
This N7 assignment is unique as it's the only one where the main enemy are Reaper forces and not Cerberus like all the other ones.
About damn time we stopped dealing with Cerberus.
Yeah, now we're spending a section of the game on the damn bots.
Joe Garrus was aiming at something coming up behind you.
What do you mean? Whoa, holy f***.
The husks are getting sneaky.
Looks like Caden is back there getting jumped by one, too.
I got you, Caden.
Garrus is probably shaking his head. 2 biotics letting husks run up on him. Disappointing.
Whoa.
Well, damn, that was very climatic.
It's a good thing you happened to back away from there, Joe.
Are you not going to explain what the hell that explosion was?
Oh, right. The Reaper retrofit mods added the enemies that are in the multiplayer as well as the Armax Arsenal Arena into the base game. That thing that just blew up was one of the Abominations, which you'll no doubt recall from Mass Effect 2.
I know the Abominations exploded, but it wasn't that big last I checked.
It was possessed, which makes the explosion larger. Honestly, I noticed and was hoping you'd get vaporized.
Gee, thanks.
The post-mortem explosion is no joke. It could knock your whole squad down if you let it go off. Word of advice, aim for the head.
All right, thanks, Thanos. The multiplayer sounds like it has a lot of content for something that was free and optional.
It had a lot of enemy classes. The Abomination and other possessed enemies belong to the Collector class.
Yeah, they really should have brought the Collectors back in the base game.
Speak for yourself. I am not trying to see anything like a Scion, especially not a Praetorian.
Oh, are Praetorians an issue for you, Joe?
You did handle that one on the Collector ship, much to my annoyance, but credit where it's due, I guess.
I can fight them, but Praetorians are boring as hell to fight against. Why do you ask Barry?
Nothing, no reason at all. But I apologize in advance.
Apologizing in advance makes it sound like a lot more than nothing.
I'm sure you'll be fine, probably.
How in the hell did those guys get up there?
Oh, so the enemies can get some verticality, but we can't.
Commander Shepard's greatest enemy, the ability to jump or lack thereof.
Who the hell just shot at me from there?
I'm not sure the Blood Pack Punisher is a good call from that range.
Well, then it's a good thing I brought my sidearm with me.
Cool, the Arc Pistol, which you should know is a scaled-down version of the Arc Projector from Mass Effect 2.
Unfortunately, it doesn't chain to nearby enemies when you fire it.
No, but it does use a non-visible laser to ionize the air and create a path for a high-ampere electric shock.
That's cool, but I high-key kind of prefer the Executioner pistol for some reason. Something about the Arc Pistol, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right.
The Arc Pistol actually isn't very competitive when you're playing on Insanity. Its rapid fire lacks power. And at full charge, it fires slower than every heavy pistol besides the Executioner pistol. It does hit harder against shields, though. I figure having to charge it is throwing you off, Joe.
Commander, we're being overrun. Position and
I actually don't know what happens if you don't send help here.
I did it once, I'm pretty sure they all die. Roger that. Why are they both looking at the dialogue wheel?
Oh God, they've realized they're inside a game. It's only a matter of time before one of them traps us in a classroom and we're forced to delete their files to escape.
For the record, if you choose to not help Captain Riley, she will say nice knowing you before the next fight begins. We'll meet up with Corporal Nyrek at the entrance where he explains that Riley sacrificed herself.
All right, go get it done, Caden. Hold on, what in the did I just see there?
Oh, nothing at all, Joe.
It said Praetorian at the top of the screen.
Now, I know I'm not crazy. There should be a brute here, not a Praetorian. Are Praetorians even in 3?
They are if you mod the game. Smile.
Well, this should be interesting. Mass Effect 3 Praetorians aren't nothing to f with.
Ooh, and it's possessed too. Good luck.
All of a sudden, I'm not a fan of the mods.
Oh, relax. Just avoid the twin particle cannon, the pouncing attack, the claws, and the grabbing attack.
Oh boy, is that all?
At least it isn't a Geth rocket trooper inside that stupid-ass Geth Dreadnought shockwave room.
Garrus can take care of that, right?
He might be able to if he were using the Typhoon.
You probably should have kept Caden and sent Garrus to go help Riley.
Well, if I'd known I was fighting a Praetorian and not a brute, I might have done that. What the hell?
So a tactical retreat already? All it did was look at you.
Screw you. That thing is floating straight towards me.
Smart move, Joe. The Praetorian can clear a lot of distance with its jumping attack.
Oh God, how did it get so close?
Bro's trying to leave the battlefield altogether.
Garrus was really eating those missiles.
He got a taste for them after the fight with the Mercs.
One thing I'll say is that the Mass Effect 3 Praetorians are more engaging, if nothing else.
It helps that they don't restore their barriers immediately just because they slam on the ground.
Did Lash just knock it on its ass?
Yeah, if you hit it with any kind of power while it's floating, the Praetorian will put up that barrier to hide its headshot area and protect itself from any other power damage.
Are you afraid to charge it, Joe?
Hell yeah, I'm afraid to charge it.
Donald, you gotta learn there's a time and place to charge. People are really starting to call your skill into question.
We'll see who is the most skilled by the end of this whole thing.
No, Garrus, this is a bad time for beauty sleep. I need you here.
I'm pretty sure you had that without Garrus.
I'm not taking any chances.
I can't believe it.
Well, me, you actually handled that, Joe. Good job.
I'm telling you, at the tail end of things, I will be the top dog.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
No one's answering my hail.
Looks like everyone is alive.
Good job, Caden.
I guess Captain Riley doesn't want to talk.
If Riley sacrificed herself, Nyrek would comment how he's going to honor her memory by kicking ass while holding this location.
There's no Riley without Nyrek.
It doesn't roll off the tongue the same way as Shepard and Vicarian, but there's something to that.
Report back to the shuttles.
Good work down there, Shepard. Without that depot, the entire theater would be at risk.
Holding that location was a big deal?
Through completing the N7 fuel reactors mission, we get some advanced Starship fuel worth 75 points in military strength. This fuel is used in ships transporting loads of materials to the Crucible project, speeding up the building process.
I'll keep you posted on new developments. Hack it out.
And now it's time to head to Rannoch.
So we can finally let the bots be destroyed.
Yeah, that's not happening.
You know, unless you sneeze again.
The sinking laser needs a line of sight. What's the fastest route?
I swear something about this mission feels less climatic than Priority Tuchanka.
Oh, thank God you said it first, so I won't get the heat if that take is bad.
I feel that opinion is a common one. It's not just Priority Tuchanka. The entire Rannoch arc feels like it has less of everything that made the Genophage arc amazing.
Upgrade code. We can break any Geth security. You are concerned.
Well, looks like your bot friend is a weaselly little liar.
Legion never told us he didn't. Still have the Reaper upgrade codes.
Still a lie by omitting pretty relevant information. Though that's not why I'm annoyed by this. Legion shouldn't want the Reaper upgrades at all in the first place.
You already went into all that last episode.
Maybe that's why this section of the game doesn't hit as hard. The writing seems spotty at best.
To be clear, there's nothing wrong with the Geth seeking to become real individuals within itself. It's just that it's a clear diversion from what was originally being written.
Besides, it's not necessarily the writing that's the only problem. The build-up to Priority Tuchanka featured better missions.
Geth Consensus is definitely a slog to get through when you've done it more than once.
The Admiral Chorus mission had a decent story beat or two, but it felt inferior to the Turian Platoon one.
They are not.
I also don't like how this scene tries to force you into a disagreement with Legion, even though Joe picked the option that was understanding.
Proceed to the upper entrance. We will exit here and procure an escape vehicle.
Got it. Legion, good luck.
Acknowledged.
My son would have said he didn't need luck.
I think acknowledged is a perfectly cool response.
Now it's time for our heart-to-heart with Tali.
I can't believe it. I don't think it's really sunk in yet. The home world. My world.
We did bring you down here when we rescued Chorus earlier.
You're ruining the mood, Donald.
Look at the sky. And the rock formations.
They've been on ships so long they've skipped needing to touch grass that they need to touch rocks.
When we're done, maybe you'll write a new one.
We can't let the Hanner be the only ones writing poetry in the Milky Way.
The world of our ancestors. Our bodies carried the seeds that spread the desert grass.
Damn, Tali already has a way with words.
Kila Salai. The best translation I can come up with is, by the homeworld I hope to see someday.
Looks like you're seeing it today.
The living room window will be right here.
Something I should know?
Now that's what I like to see. She's already trying to set up real estate.
I know it doesn't mean much, but when this is over, I'll have a home.
The Quarians spent centuries as nomads. You think you can go back to living in one place?
This would be a good time for a spacer shepherd to bring up their own time living on ships, but Mass Effect likes to ignore your origins past the first game.
Well, that's a start.
I'm sorry, did we just get her a rock?
She even put it into one of her suit's pockets.
That's how you know Tali is a keeper.
So could Shepard live on Rannoch with Tali?
It's not impossible, but would come with challenges. Rannoch is an arid world due to its closeness to its star. It's covered in large expanses of desert, with photosynthetic life being concentrated around rivers and oceans. The climate isn't much cause for concern. It's the fact that we can't consume anything native to the planet, since Quarians are a dextro amino acid species. Any human living here would need to import food, drinks, and other essentials to survive.
I'm sure we could figure that out.
At least it's less bad than if you romance Garrus and tried to live on Palaven.
True. On Palaven, you'd need to wear a suit to block the increased solar radiation. Anyway, I'm probably not going to get the chance to do this later, so let's talk about the outcomes of Priority Rannoch and how ridiculous one of them kind of is.
I'm sure this will be good.
Starting with the outcome where you stop Legion from uploading the Reaper code. Legion will naturally not be happy with you deciding the ultimate fate of the Geth and Jack Shepard up by their neck as he starts to upload the code.
And the bot finally shows its true colors.
Donald, you like Rex and Ashley in spite of the fact that they draw their guns on Shepard.
Well, Ashley and Rex weren't playing with Reaper code.
Edie is based on Reaper code, by the way.
Hey, can I talk, or are you two going to argue all day?
My fault, Barack.
Sorry, Barry.
Thankfully, Tali will come to Shepard's rescue here and stab Legion in the back of his neck using a dagger.
Tali is carrying a dagger?
That's what it is. If you pause right before she stabs him, weird we never see it come into play anywhere else.
It's weirder that she didn't just use her Omni tool.
Tali must have hit some kind of weak spot because Legion is unable to move after she stops him. This leaves Shepard with a few renegade interrupts to shoot Legion a few times, or you can ignore them. Either way, he dies.
That's Tali 1, dumbass robot 0.
Despite Legion attacking Shepard and Tali having to stop him, it's still a peaceful send-off at the end. Legion asks the question, does this unit have a soul? Which, might I add, is not the original version of that question, but I digress. Tali says yes as Legion finally shuts down.
I guess Tali really does just like Legion in the end.
We've all got a soft spot for our electronics, I suppose.
How does the crew react to the Geth being wiped out? I figure it's largely celebration.
As it should be.
As you might expect, most of the crew is pretty satisfied with the destruction of the Geth. No one is sorry to see them go. However, this does seem to leave Edie with a bit of a chip on her shoulder.
She'll be all right.
Joker tries to sympathize with Edie's displeasure with an entire species of synthetics being destroyed, but she's not willing to hear it. If Shepard tries to justify their decision with the fact that the Geth went to the Reapers before and couldn't risk it again, Edie will point out how she's a Cerberus creation and ask if she can be trusted.
She's kind of got a point.
While Joker assures Edie she's part of the crew, she'll still conclude that if presented with the option to save her or save Joker, Shepard would end up saving him because people side with the familiar.
Now hold on, we'd save Joker because the motherfucker has brittle bones and Edie is a starship with a Reaper-based cannon and a robot that can take an exploding shuttle.
Also, having to choose between two people isn't a foreign concept to Shepard.
Edie isn't being entirely fair, but I guess that's her realizing she'll never be viewed entirely on the same level as the organic crew, despite all she's done for us. Moving on, though, the outcome where you side with the Geth is the one that really bothers me.
Of course it bothers you. You sided with the bots. You made the wrong choice.
I'm thinking that's not what Barry meant.
Siding with the Geth puts into full display how completely f***ing stupid Admiral Geralt is. After Legion sacrifices himself to upload the Reaper code, we'll jump to the space battle and see the Geth start to turn the tide of the battle, knocking down the kinetic barriers of the Quarian ships. A Quarian lieutenant will request permission to order a retreat, and for some reason this absolute baboon Geralt denies the request and instead orders all the ships to fire a full barrage, which goes about as well as you might expect.
The Quarian ships were already lacking in the armor department. When their kinetics went down, the fight was completely cooked.
Yeah, that might not have been the best decision.
We cut back to Rannoch and hear Tali's old ship, Captain Cardana, reporting multiple hull breaches as Tali cries watching her people crash and burn.
Good thing Shepard is her ship captain now, right?
Nah, not really. Tali takes off her mask and falls to her death. There is a Paragon interrupt to try to catch her, but it fails.
They really had to stab you in the gut if you side with the Geth.
Well, there you go. It's the worst option. Even if you do like the bot, for some reason you lose both it and Tali.
And of course, the members of the crew are very heartbroken over what happened to the Quarians and Tali especially. Edie offers Joker a chance to vent his anger at the situation towards her if needed. Though interestingly enough, Joker isn't angry about the demise of the Quarians. Rather, he's angry that the Quarians wouldn't just stop shooting.
So based from Joker.
Edie will also say she believes Legion would have regretted Tali's death. Caden will talk about how he admired the Quarians' resilience. Ashley, on the other hand, has a more emotional response as she's crying and admits that she thought of Tali as a little sister. She'll also tell Shepard to keep the Geth away from her.
That's exactly what I would expect to hear from my girl.
Ashley never does get over her hatred of the Geth.
As she damn well shouldn't. Always remember what those bots did to the 212 and the rest of Eden Prime.
I suppose Ashley and Javik would get along swimmingly.
Dr. Chakwas has a reaction too, referring to what happened to the Quarians and Tali as a tragedy. She simply asks if Shepard is doing okay. Garrus respects Shepard's choice, but he is regretful over Tali's death. He says he thought there was an angel behind the mask.
He has good taste, I can't lie.
Garrus isn't happy with the deaths of Rex and Morden, but accepts it. So he must have really liked Tali.
Tali probably has the highest approval rating within the squad mates. There isn't really much of a reason for anyone to dislike her, so for her to go out that way has to be devastating.
So does Liara have anything to say, or is she silent about it like she is with everything these days?
Glyph will offer to order salvage teams to recover information from the crashed Quarian ships, but Liara will deny the request, stating that the Quarians should be allowed to rest, going on to name Tali specifically.
At least she hasn't gone totally zero contact.
I know Javik must have something to say about you saving a race of synthetics over organics.
Unsurprisingly, Javik is pretty cold about the whole thing, and not the good kind of cold either. He simply tells you not to mourn the, quote, Tali Quarian, but to mourn that she died and the machines are still alive, calling that the actual tragedy.
He's right, letting Tali die for the sake of the bots is crazy work.
According to the gameplay stats for the Legendary Edition, 80% of players got peace on Rannoch, which isn't surprising. The Geth got 11%, and the Quarians got the remaining 9%.
Nothing but robot lovers in this community.
Wait, that was the Legendary Edition where most of the people playing in 2021 would have been veteran fans. How were the stats back when 3 first released?
Good question, Joe. Back when the game first released, 36% of players got peace, 37% picked the Geth, and 27% picked the Quarians.
What the hell?
Now that's more like it.
You're telling me more people chose to lose a squad mate?
It's worth remembering that a lot of people started with Mass Effect 3, and since Legion is dead, by default peace wouldn't have been an option at all in the first place. 3 does a lot of work making the Geth more sympathetic and the Quarians more aggravating. So if you didn't play 1 and 2 first, people wouldn't have much of a connection with Tali. Picking the Geth would be pretty easy.
I guess that makes sense.
It is bad how 3 just totally glosses over the Geth's actions in the Morning War. The Geth consensus would convince anyone that the Quarians are solely the bad guys.
Not to mention all their buffoonery during the present events of 3.
You know, I regret doing that.
Going in after Javik just said more were dropping in was interesting.
Oh.
Oh, hell yes, he's finally choking.
Not these goddamn bombs, bro.
Yeah, you were kind of cooked no matter what you did there.
I disagree. A well-positioned charge would have gotten you out of there.
Man, charging is what got me into the situation in the first place.
Well, then just charge better forehead.
I'm doing pretty good.
I've been impressed so far despite that previous hiccup. Though this is worse than your priority Tuchanka run.
You can't fault me for that. Priority Tuchanka was a legendary run.
It's only a matter of time before that trio of Geth Primes knock you on your ass.
I think I'll handle them just fine.
Look at the big talker over here.
I am surprised by one thing, Joe. You had the option to bring Garrus here with the N7 Typhoon and didn't.
That would be too easy. When I throttle the Geth Primes, I want there to be little doubt that I've gotten better at this game. No one is going to tell me I got carried.
I'll be looking forward to see if you can pull it off.
What's gotten into you? You're acting like you've got something to prove.
You never know when your time is up. And if you're an old guy like me, you want to make sure you leave on a high note, especially when time is getting short.
Damn, Joe, that was sad.
Don't mind me, I'm just yapping.
Well, dropping out of the election sure was an interesting way to go out on a high note.
I just thought I'd give you the chance to be the oldest sitting president. You're welcome, Donald.
Oh, sure, that record really meant a lot.
So Legion is somewhere else just catching mad bodies right now.
Okay, well, forget whatever Javik was about to say.
I hate it when that happens.
Javik was going to point out how Legion using Reaper code was a mistake. Tali would have spoken up in defense of Legion, stating that he's on our side.
I'm surprised by how fond of Legion she is.
You hate to see her go soft.
Speak for yourself.
Actually, now that I think about it, I have a question, Barry.
Let me hear it.
If Tali is dead during the Geth Dreadnought mission, Admiral Zen filled her role, right? What happens in Priority Rannoch?
What's the deal with the VI version of the bot, too?
Oh, right. Naturally, things mostly play out the same. You just have to pick a second squad mate since Tali isn't around. Starting with the scenario where Tali is dead, instead of Zen, Tali's role will be filled by Admiral Ron instead. She's the one who tries to stop Legion from uploading the code. She even tells us outright that Geralt won't call off his attack.
I'd believe that considering Geralt tried to blow us up.
The Geth VI of Legion will also make the same claim about the irrationality of the Quarians. If you side with the Geth while Shalaran is alive, instead of taking her mask off and falling to her death, she'll just blow her brains out.
So she just goes screw this and dies.
Apparently Ron likes to use guns more than Tali does, because instead of stabbing Legion with a knife, she'll just shoot them in the back with an M27 scimitar.
That's a decent choice in shotgun.
I do like the slight changes in dialogue based on who's here.
Yeah, for example, the Legion VI will shout that it was right to distrust organics if you try to stop it. And Ron will say it's a pity that it turned on them. She apparently felt it was truly sincere. The most interesting change in the dynamic is that the Geth VI doesn't reach a state of having a full actualized personality. It dies referring to itself with the term our, rather than saying I, like Legion does.
Shouldn't that mean you like the VI version more?
The Geth VI ultimately still sacrifices itself to turn the other Geth into individuals, so not really. Though the Geth VI is an interesting character in its own way. For one thing, it isn't in awe of the Reapers when it is forced to interface with them, referring to the experience as unproductive.
At least that one throws proper shade towards the Reapers instead of glazing them.
Donald, come on, we're near the end of the Rannoch arc. Isn't it about time you changed your mind on the Geth already?
You can ask me how I feel after the bot stops flashing its light at us.
All right, that was easy.
Just one more hurdle ahead of you, Joe.
It's good that you're handling all this stuff. It'll make things less unbearable when you're stun locked on the primes.
Looks like one of the primes decided to come down to get smoked a little early.
Boy, it would sure be funny if you died after saying that.
I'm not going to struggle like you did on the Geth Dreadnought.
You've got the right idea putting Tali's sabotage to work on the prime, Joe. That'll be crucial to your success once you go up the elevator.
I am glad they had this one prime come down with a couple of rocket guys instead of them staying up there with the other 3 big guys.
Yeah, 4 Geth primes and 2 rocket troopers would definitely be a massive pain in the ass.
He's just trying to make himself look cool.
I wouldn't have brought Garrus anyway. Javik is the one who deserves to see these Reapers die.
There is no way the Geth rocket trooper over there isn't hitting you.
I guess the angle is just right to block the rocket.
Bro, those motherfuckers were curving their rockets when I fought them. Now all they can do is fire in a straight line.
You're a little close for comfort here, Joe.
I got this, don't worry.
Oh, he miscalculated.
Oh, fuck.
The prime succumbed to its injuries at just the right moment.
Whoa, holy hell, that was close.
There is no goddamn way you just rolled that rocket without seeing it.
That was an impressive read, Joe. For a second, I thought you'd get clapped by the rocket trooper because you forgot about it.
The combat roll doesn't even have iframes.
It doesn't, you're right. But I think rolling can reduce your hitbox, which might be why the rocket didn't hit.
I am so f***ing ready to throttle those Geth primes.
Admiral ran to all ships. The patrol fleet has broken the Geth flank.
This is the original facility where the Geth were created. Good hunting, where the Geth began? Yes.
I've never heard this dialogue before.
Curse of the people. Our children are afraid to say the name of this place.
The machines will end where they began. Appropriate.
It's cut dialogue restored thanks to the diversification mod. This location is supposed to be the lab where the Geth were born.
You know, sometimes I'm very confused by the things video games cut out for seemingly no reason.
All right, let's get this chicken dinner.
I guess they really don't want us up here.
I'm locking in.
Smart. Picking up the Geth Spitfire right away.
There is no way he's going to make this.
I don't know, Donald. We've underestimated Joe a lot. And while it's true he has the most deaths, he surprised us all, time and again.
It's been a couple times at best.
Nah, just think about it. He wasn't the first person to die in the videos. He managed to clear the collector ship without dying. Then he goes on to have a good start in Mass Effect 3 and clears his arch nemesis Grissom Academy, and since that episode he's kept his deaths to a minimum.
Well, I just saw him almost die twice there.
As long as it doesn't go past almost, there's nothing to worry about besides look at him. He was totally serious when he said he'd lock in. And just like that, one Geth prime down.
Okay, sure, but that Spitfire is about to run out of ammo. Soon he'll have no way out of handling the other 2.
Let's see how things play out then, shall we? That's what I like to see. That sabotage is putting in work.
No, this cannot be happening.
At this point, dying now would require Joe to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
It would not surprise me if he manages to do that.
And that's 2 down. This is 100% Joe's fight to lose.
I actually can't believe this.
You want to know why you can't believe it, Donald? Because you probably would have charged at some point and died because of it.
We're not playing Vanguard for no reason.
Yes, we're playing Vanguard, but that doesn't mean you shut your brain off. If anything, you should be thinking more than you would on any class. Vanguard is potentially the strongest class in the game, but only if you move smart. You keep trying to bulldoze your way through everything, and that just isn't how you do things.
You're saying that I'm the one who's dodged?
You are definitely better on Sentinel than you are on Vanguard, I'll say that much.
Now put some f***ing respect on my name.
Joe, I gotta admit, you've come a long way since those days of struggling on Grissom Academy.
It's not over yet. There may not be any more combat, but he still has to face off with the Reaper.
Your cope is becoming obvious, Donald.
I'm no longer a doubter. Joe has the rest of this episode in the bag.
This battle was centuries in the making. To see it finally end.
I'm glad I'm the one getting to put things to the end for you, Tally, especially since Donald would probably kill the Geth.
You can go ahead and drop that, probably.
I wonder what the name of those birds is.
There's no time for you to go into detail about that.
Donald is right. It's time for a good old-fashioned presidential bomb strike.
These weapon systems are ready to sink to your target. I recommend you withdraw to a safe distance.
I don't think this is a safe distance.
Target locked.
Now, why can't we do that on missions more often?
That was a fast delivery, too.
Reaper!
Oh, crap.
That has to be the worst thing to have climb out the ground when you bomb an area.
Fun fact about this section of the mission, it was demoed at 2011's E3. Funny enough, Cerberus enemies were used instead of Geth during the presentation.
They originally intended for us to fight Cerberus here?
The Geth hadn't been revealed as an enemy faction at that point, so they were probably trying to keep it a surprise and used Cerberus as placeholders.
No one should be surprised the Geth still ended up being our enemies.
Damn Tally, she just straight executed the Geth.
She might be fond of Legion, but the other Geth can get smoked.
The Reaper horn is so iconic.
Yes, the sound of being indoctrinated sure is enjoyable.
And now it's time for a pointless turret section.
We all know that gun might as well be firing spitballs.
During the E3 presentation, this scene was longer.
I need an orbital strike.
The Reaper would get hit by a barrage from the Quarian fleet, fall over, and then get back up.
Maybe it was different at the time, but I can't imagine this being all too entertaining for E3.
It might have been an attention getter back then. I mean, we're being chased by a goddamn Reaper.
Damn good shot.
Yeah, go ahead and have a seat, you punk-ass Reaper.
It's a good thing this one isn't a capital class Reaper. We'd be totally fried.
The firing chamber. Looks like a weak point when it's priming.
If only the Protheans included the giant f***ing weak spot that the Reapers have in their beacons.
We may escape before it recovers.
Pull over when your op as a Reaper has to be a top 3 hardest line in the trilogy.
If we run away, the Geth stand under Reaper control and the Quarians are dead. This ends now.
Hey Javik, watch this. This is how you really kill a Reaper.
You only brought him here so you could show off.
That's not true. I'm going to show off for Tally too.
Yeah, unless you get vaporized by a laser.
If we don't make it,
Don't talk crazy, Tali. We always make it.
I love you.
Keep us alive. Shepard to fleet. I'll paint the weak spot. Link up with the Normandy and be ready to fire.
Oh yeah, I'm getting to kill a Reaper, and this time I don't need a giant worm.
This time you need the entire Quarian fleet to drop an orbital bombardment on it.
In the leaked script, there's talk of a more involved version of this fight with the Reaper. Apparently, there would have been more than one stage of the fight. The first part would involve you fighting the Reaper in the M44 Hammerhead.
I'd rather fight this Reaper on foot using the Predator heavy pistol than fight it in the Hammerhead.
The Hammerhead is made out of wet cardboard.
There would have also been a moment where Shepard fights the Reaper on foot, as we are right now. Somehow we'd even end up climbing onto the Reaper to deliver the killing shot.
That would definitely be interesting considering we're shooting at the Reaper with ships.
Now, what weapon do we have that could deliver a killing shot to a Reaper?
The script doesn't say anything, but I'm betting on it being the cane.
Wouldn't it be way easier for the Reaper to just, I don't know, fly over here and crush us?
It'd be less cool, though.
Man, these things can't aim for shit.
It's trying to shoot where you're at, not where you're going.
The beam does kind of track you while you're moving, but yeah. Turns out the vanguards of our destruction don't know how to handle a little bit of strafing.
At this point, we should be more worried about one of the shells from the Quarians killing Shepard instead.
Now that would suck. Hey guys, we got the Reaper. Wait, where's Shepard at?
You scared me there for a second, Joe.
Got up the suspense a little now that we're on the last shot.
The slowdown is kind of forced.
Yeah, they tried a bit too hard to make this extra dramatic.
The Reaper is definitely close enough to just stomp us out.
How fast are those shots traveling to go from these ships all the way down to Rannoch in seconds?
Without knowing the distance they travel, it's hard to get an exact calculation for speed. But we know the Quarians outfitted their ships with Dreadnought-class weaponry, which is known to fire at 4,025 kilometers per second, which is 1.3% the speed of light. So it's pretty damn quick. For perspective, the fastest man-made object is NASA's Parker Space Probe, which moved at 176.4 kilometers per second, or 0.05% the speed of light.
The numbers are nice and all, Barry, but can we focus on the fact that we just killed a Reaper?
Yeah, you're right. This is a big deal.
We're moving up in the world. The Reapers know us by name.
I am?
Harbinger speaks of you. You resist, but you will fail.
That's an awful funny thing to say when you just got shot into submission by not even the strongest fleet in the galaxy.
What are you talking about?
You just passed up the chance to shoot at the Reaper again.
Oh wait, that dialogue option locks me out of that?
We've earned a
I thought it was an investigative option.
I can't fault you for that, Joe. Normally that side of the wheel is for investigate, but yeah. In order to do one of the morality interrupts, you have to pick either the bottom or top option.
We represent chaos. We represent order. Every organic civilization must be harvested in order to bring order to the chaos.
The way it just stressed the word must was interesting.
Makes the Reaper sound like it's super convinced of what it's doing.
I'm sure whatever species it was made from wouldn't agree with a word it's saying.
We are your salvation.
You're killing everyone in the galaxy to save us?
The cycle must continue. There is no alternative.
Yeah, I think we'll pass on that. Now have a good day.
Organics and synthetics don't have to destroy each other.
Well, let's not get crazy.
Battle for Rannoch disproves your assertion.
That's a bold thing to say, especially since Joe is about to stop the fighting once and for all.
So, how are we going to get this thing off of Rannoch?
I guess we better let the Geth figure that out and keep the Quarians very far away.
We can confirm that the Geth are no longer being directed by the old machines. We are free.
You're welcome, Legion.
Geralt is so goddamn bloodthirsty.
And he has every right to be.
Donald, even you recognize the strategic value in keeping the Geth around to help fight the Reapers.
What are you suggesting?
Our upgrades. With the old machine dead, we could upload them to all Geth without sacrificing their independence.
The independence you shouldn't even want, but go off, I guess.
That would make the Geth as smart as when the Reaper was controlling them.
Yes, but not under old machine control. Our processing power would be restored, and we could help you.
You're help enough without the Reaper code.
If I didn't know better, I'd think the bot was somehow indoctrinated.
That's pretty much the only way to explain this sudden shift in Legion's goals, but unfortunately it just doesn't have much supporting evidence.
It caused the creators to attack us, Talizora? Do these units have a soul?
And side note here, you'll note that Legion just asked the question, do these units have a soul? That's what the original question was in Mass Effect 2, but is not what is said in the vanilla version of 3. Mass Effect 3 claims that the original question was, does this unit have a soul? Which cannot be the case, as the Geth did not operate as individuals back then.
Damn, they really butchered the hell out of the storyline.
That's putting it lightly.
So why is the line correct here?
Mods, of course, and forgive me, I can't track down which one it was specifically.
All right, no sneezing here. I'm letting Legion upload the code.
Damn it, I wish I had been playing this mission.
Thank goodness you weren't is all I can say.
Call off the fleet if you can.
Uploading. 10%.
This is Admiral Talizora. All units, break off your attack.
Okay, bro, will someone just f***ing shoot Garrow in the back of his skull already?
That guy is single-handedly trying to run his whole species into the ground for absolutely nothing.
Please.
We regret the deaths of the creators, but we see no alternative.
Well, we could just shoot you.
And so we reach the ultimate decision.
Yeah, I'm already locked in on this. I'm picking the red option.
That's awful renegade of you there, Sleepy Joe.
I'm not mincing words here. Garrow is a dumbass and needs to be whipped in line.
Well, since Joe is picking warn the fleet. If you rally the fleet, you'll appeal to Garrow by explaining that their entire history is trying to kill the Geth, forcing them to rebel, and forcing them to ally with the Reapers. Going on to explain that all the Quarians have to do is believe for 1 minute that the Geth don't want to fight them, and the war will end. And behold, that ends up being the case.
Maybe the bots don't want to fight this time, but they still went crazy during the Geth War.
That's nice and all, Barry, but I'm not interested in being diplomatic right now.
Hell. Legion, keep going.
Shepard?
Don't worry, Tali, it'll work out.
This is Shepard. If you don't want to be blown out of the sky in about half a minute, stand down now.
This is Admiral Talizora. Shepard speaks with my authority.
And that's why you save Admiral Chorus.
I respect his commitment to killing the bots, but maybe it's time to lay things down for now. The battle is lost on our end.
They'll wipe you out. A few years ago, I saved you from the Geth at the Citadel. Just recently, I helped you take out that Dreadnought.
80%.
But I'm through saving you. If you keep attacking, I will stand and watch while the Geth lay you to waste.
I know Tali's stomach had to drop for a second there.
Keep us alive.
All units, hold fire.
Damn, haven't seen Shepard look that happy before.
I'd smile too if we managed to talk some sense into that hard-headed dumbass.
Direct dissemination required.
Okay, but why though?
BioWare are some real demons for this. They introduced Legion way too late in Mass Effect 2 for you to get to fully explore his dialogue. Then they reintroduce him in the second half of 3 just to kill him for absolutely no goddamn reason.
The fact that he dies no matter what is really goddamn annoying. And what do you mean copying code is insufficient? It's a bunch of fucking lines.
It's a way worse sacrifice than Morden's. Hell, I could even tolerate the bull around Thane's sacrifice too. This one is just totally forced.
All right, good riddance.
Oh, come on, Donald.
What, did you actually think I was going to change my mind on a bot like I did with Garrus?
I was kind of hoping you would, yeah.
Well, some things about a person just can't be changed. It is what it is.
Look alive, Joe. The Geth Primes are coming to spin back for what you did to them.
I could handle 3 more of them any time.
Admiral Ron, I heard your ship made a crash landing. Glad you got out in one piece.
I wonder what happens to Ron if you side with the Geth.
Probably the same thing that happens if she's here and you do that. We just don't see it.
Taken heavy losses. I don't know if we can. Where are we supposed to go?
Okay, again, you primes need to start out with the friendly blue lighting and not the scary red one.
I'm thinking the blue light was just a one-time thing.
You are welcome to return to Rannoch, Admiral Ron, with us.
Legion?
No. It sacrificed itself to deliver the code upgrade to all Geth units. It will be honored.
Legion gets a statue on the Citadel for sure.
That is not happening.
Yeah, I doubt the Council is going to let us put a statue of a Geth on the Citadel, but we'll get one built here on Rannoch.
As will ours, of course.
Admiral, had you considered possible settlement sites?
The southern continent had excellent farmland, as I recall.
Are you gonna be okay?
I believe so, Commander. Thank you.
All in a day's work for Commander Shepard.
Ending centuries-old conflicts is something of a pastime for us, I guess.
Shopping for another house?
One house is never enough. Am I right?
Property.
Claim it fast. It's a buyer's market.
Hey, this is a cute little moment and all, but can we not do this with the giant smoking brainwashing machine right there in the background?
Yeah, they're getting way too comfortable. Imagine the Reaper gets back up.
I know working with the Geth will be difficult.
I'm not staying. I'm coming with you.
I wasn't going to ask.
We were definitely going to ask.
You gotta leave her on the edge. This is how I pulled Jill.
You think I don't want you to come with me?
So ask me.
Tali.
I don't know how much time we have left. I don't know if we can beat the Reapers. But whatever happens, I want to be with you.
I bet you say that to every guy who gets you a homeworld.
Only the cute ones.
I can't get over her calling us cute when we look like this.
I told you this design would start growing on everyone.
I look at all this picture of hope and peace. And all I see is everyone I've lost.
Yeah, I know what you mean,
My
Tali.
team on Haystrom, my father, even Legion. I'm mourning a Geth. How crazy is that?
Damn, huge middle finger to her team from Freedom's Progress.
That dude Praza and the rest of them brought it on themselves.
It is beautiful, though, isn't it?
Yup, you sure are.
Yeah. It is.
It'll be years before we can live without our suits completely. But right now...
Okay, now swivel the camera around and show her face.
I take it back. Not showing us Tally's face here is the thing BioWare is really demonic for.
I understand this is the part of the game where BioWare was under a lot of crunch to get the game out in 2012. But Jesus Christ, what a waste of a chance to have a super satisfying moment of payoff by finally showing us what a Quarian looks like at the resolution of their story arc. It's just a crying shame.
The real crying shame is going to be what we end up finding in our cabin in about 10 minutes.
I had a lot of help.
We're still facing isolated pockets of Geth. They appear to be Geth bodies loaded with Reaper code. But they're a minor threat relative to the full Geth fleet. Regardless, Commander, you've given us the first reason to hope in this war.
Getting the Krogan to help out wasn't enough for you?
The Asari are hard to please sometimes.
I'd prefer to share it in person.
Ah yes, it's just about time for the Asari to start lending a hand now that the Reapers are pressing on their borders.
Dina's office.
Commander, Admiral Hackett's available on VidCom.
It's been a while since we've had a chat with Hackett.
You might as well make the rounds about the ship a second time this episode. We've got a lot of important things to hear that's better heard now rather than later.
What's our state of readiness, Admiral?
Given the situation everywhere else as close as we can be, you've done well, Shepard.
That's better than last time, isn't it?
Yes, that means we've actually got a high amount of military strength right now.
Bringing in both the Quarians and the Geth has helped us immeasurably.
See, good thing I'm not you, Donald.
Yeah, whatever.
Back and fire support, while the Geth attack Reaper supply lines.
It's a good thing both fleets have anything left to give after the battle.
Since the coup attempt, the Asari have stepped up to the plate.
That's the only useful thing Udina did the whole game.
A science team to work on the Crucible.
That thing they should have been doing the whole time, but better late than ever, I guess.
It's about damn time the other species started playing ball.
Plus, she seems to like you for getting her that job that got us the STG task force.
That's new dialogue to me.
Counselor Aight doesn't seem to approve of her predecessor, Valerne, and is happy we killed him with the old council.
She owes me for that.
Wasn't Valerne like the least annoying of the original three?
I don't even remember anything about that one.
Udina describes Valerne as out of his depth when you talk to him at the start of 3, which greatly contrasts with what he says about Aight, who he says is practical to the point that she might make Machiavelli turn pale.
I don't follow.
Basically, Aight is the type to put Solarian interests above all else, even if there are ethical concerns.
I hear you were on the ground with the Reaper.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
I don't remember seeing the Reaper take a shot at the Normandy.
To stay out of the line of fire.
It's hard being in a fight like that, especially when you're not the one flying the ship.
But probably not as hard as when you're on foot, just saying.
At first I was nauseous, swinging around in my safety harness. But then I was furious. Just... enraged. I wanted that thing dead.
That's what I like to hear,
The
Samantha.
Reapers dead when they attacked Earth?
I wanted them defeated. I wanted Earth saved. But I never wanted to physically tear them in half and watch them blow up.
We need to take her down to the firing range and have her shoot at a cardboard cutout of Sovereign.
Perhaps I should have stayed with chess. Although now I think I'm spoiled by the lack of explosions.
The Armax Arsenal Arena's always open.
Gotta hand it to you, Commander. That's the first time I've seen someone end a war by yelling.
We did get the charges against Tali dropped by yelling. Shepard's charisma can't be matched.
After seeing what the Geth Rebellion really looked like, I figured they deserved a chance.
We did not see what the rebellion really looked like. Show us the vids of bots slaughtering school children.
If you want to see school children getting shot at, just turn the news on Donald.
We didn't lose anybody.
Except Legion.
Thank you, Edie.
Before
Rest
it
in peace,
sacrificed
Legion.
Itself. Legion referred to itself as I instead of we.
Yeah? So?
The singular pronoun indicates Legion's independent personality had fully actualized. In its last moments, it was not an avatar of the Geth consensus. It was a person.
That's what I figured.
Well, when the Geth fleet helps us retake Earth, I guess we'll owe that to Him.
I'm not happy with it, but if that's the resolution of Legion's character, so be it.
What's on your mind, Edie?
I was just reflecting. The Quarian's historical era was not making the Geth enough like them.
All right, take notes. If AI is going to take over the world, we need to make sure it's more like Edie and less like the Geth.
Okay, never mind. I'm not done being angry about this.
Barry's about to pop off.
Mass Effect 3 supposes that the only way the Geth and Quarians could find peace is if the Geth were more like organics, rather than being their own unique form of life. Which is ridiculous, because peace was possible without the Reaper upgrade code turning them into individuals. The peaceful resolution of Tali's and Legion's argument in 2 shows you that. The Quarians were the ones that needed to change and let go of their obsession with killing the Geth.
I agree.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm not interested in having the bots whose ultimate goal is achieving the same state of existence as the Reapers.
Trainer, can you
We got an email. Looks like Diana wants to have another talk.
Good, I've missed looking at her.
Come on, Donald. Tali is on the crew permanently.
I'm sure you've got a million questions.
I narrowed it down to 40. Let's see how you do with the top 10.
We've got time for 2. Keep it short.
Commander, the last time most of us heard about Geth, they were attacking the Citadel alongside Sovereign.
Yes, and you should know that was a minority of the Geth. Most of them are not hostile to organics.
That minority of bots got reduced to dust. You're welcome.
And no longer dangerous robots who stick humans on spikes?
Oh, right, the dragon's teeth. I forgot the Geth did that on Eden Prime.
Well, now they can turn their spikes on the Reapers.
What you have to realize is that despite their reputation, most Geth are not inherently violent. The Quarians attacked them.
And we just threw the Quarians under the bus.
Oops.
Just like any organic would. Now that we've freed the Geth from Reaper control, they'll want payback for their enslavement.
But you're going to take an army of synthetics to fight Reapers with untold hacking abilities. What's keeping the Reapers from reprogramming the Geth like they have before?
You know, when you put it like that, it really does call the whole thing into question.
The Geth are extremely intelligent, and they put incredible thought into solving this problem. They're not going to turn again. I bet my life on it.
Shepard has good media training. He knew to omit the fact that the solution to the hacking problem is, in fact, Reaper code.
Commander Shepard would have had a good career in politics.
Please don't wish that evil upon Barton Joe Shepard.
So did I miss anything? Do you have any questions?
I guess the fact that we talked face-to-face with a Reaper is a newsworthy material.
If you don't mind.
Go tell the galaxy what we've done. They could use some good news.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Oh my fucking God. Whoever made this mod is so diabolical for making Diana look so good.
Donald, you need help, brother?
Got the flush.
Are they gambling on my ship?
Full house. Caught it on the river.
And it looks like Caden is getting spanked.
Wasn't James getting cleaned out on the Citadel?
Good for you.
Can it, Lieutenant?
Yes, sir, Major Alenko, sir.
If that attitude Alenko is catching is indicative of anything, looks like James just won all his money back and then some.
Oh, come on. That really as deep as your pockets go? No sentimental crap stowed away? Investments?
I got some land on the Sunshine Coast I could put up.
The Sunshine Coast most likely refers to an area in British Columbia, Canada.
That was quite...
The housing prices there right now range from several $100,000s into the millions.
And the Geth on our side?
So apparently Caden comes from money.
And he's about to put it up against James in a poker competition.
Joe, that land is probably a smoking crater at best, or a Reaper processing site at worst. Whatever value it holds today, it's probably rock bottom by this point in the Reaper War.
Another Reaper gone.
Oh wow, Liara, you had us worried for a second. Thought you lost the ability to talk.
Hopefully dialogue with her opens back up after Priority Vesia.
Something they know will last forever.
So long as you and the Geth remain good neighbors.
They will not, I promise.
I'm not sure what we should call them. Allies?
Friends?
Neighbors probably, assuming the Geth still plan on making their megastructure in the Perseus Vale.
Now, will Liara say anything to us?
The Migrant Fleet and the Geth warships have joined Admiral Haki.
We already know that, thanks.
Perhaps we can talk
Jesus
later.
Christ, it's a barren wasteland of content in here.
Peace between the Geth and Quarians.
Yep, you know it, Garrus.
Not how I ever imagined that would turn out.
Honestly, this situation presents an interesting change up in galactic politics. Humans, Turians, and Krogan will be closely united because of the Genophage cure and the reinforcement of Palaven. Meanwhile, the Asari and Solarians dragged their feet. I wouldn't be surprised if the Turians become closer allies of humanity over the other Council races.
It's a good thing I changed my mind on him.
Thank you, Commander. I have seen another Reaper.
You're very welcome, Javik. I didn't expect such politeness.
You are proving that humans are capable.
Wow, he even complimented
but
us.
I question this peace you have brokered. No such thing is possible between machines and organics. I would have destroyed the synthetics without hesitation. And these Quarians, Let's just hope they are reliable allies.
And he ruined it.
It's difficult to trust a species that hides behind masks.
That's as polite as a conversation with Javik can be.
The only conflict you should concern yourself with is ending the one with the Reapers. Diplomacy does not win wars. Powerful.
I agree with you. Unfortunately, defeating the Reapers conventionally just isn't an option provided to us.
Evolution has taken a strange turn in this cycle.
Batarians are the only ones with 4 eyes, and they're the ones who got wiped out first, so take that 4 eyes.
Kenneth, you comment on every woman's figure but mine.
What the hell did I just walk in on?
What? You don't like my legs?
We haven't heard from these two in episodes, and we catch them arguing.
Adams, are you just absorbing all this in silence?
All you do is make stupid sexist comments to avoid saying anything real.
Whoa, goddamn Gabby, clock his shit, girl.
Barack is over here cracking out the chips.
Hey, you have 2 daughters and a wife, and you develop a taste for tea like this.
Look around you. Tomorrow may not come.
Gabby has a really good point. Hell, that Reaper was shooting at the Normandy. Apparently, maybe that made her realize she needed to press Kenneth a little bit.
Remember, Ken pretty much loses all his personality if Gabby dies on the suicide mission. He likes her, and everyone in this room, Adams included, knows
We're
it.
not fighting this war for ourselves, Donnelly. We're fighting for the people close to us.
Yeah, like we're about to go flirt with Tally in about 30 seconds.
I see your point, Commander. Gabby, I think your legs are spectacular.
Well, that's a start.
I can't get over Adams just sitting there in silence.
You know, Edie definitely heard this, and Tally was in earshot too.
The crew gossip is going to go absolutely crazy. It's too bad Kasumi isn't here.
I guess that's right.
Fooled you, Tally.
Hey, Tally. How's it going?
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear you.
She wasted no time going back to her usual station.
Sorry. From Rannoch. In the old days, I'd send any new technology I found back to the fleet. I should probably be doing that with the agriculture samples now. I don't know anything about raising crops.
Let's save the farming for after we kill the Reapers.
It's crazy. The Geth are helping, setting up housing, adapting power systems. They are doing in weeks what would have taken us years.
So the Geth went back to being the Quarian's labor force.
Hopefully there's a lot of collaboration.
They're rewriting environmental functions, jump-starting our immune system.
Okay, now listen, I know I'm usually against the bots, but this time I'm raising a serious concern. Uploading them into Quarian suits is some seriously risky business.
It is kind of a big step to already be taking when the shooting stopped like a day ago at most in universe.
I'm sure Javik would have a thing or two to say about this considering what happened to the organic and synthetic counterpart of his cycle.
It's like making a vaccine.
So the Quarians won't have to wear those suits anymore?
It doesn't seem possible, but yes, in a few years, with Geth improvements, we won't need them.
I guess it's good that the situation won't last in the long term.
Have become part of our society, but a rupture won't be a death sentence. Today, on Rannoch, there are Quarian children who will grow up healthy and strong, thanks to the Geth.
Good thing we didn't kill them all.
No, I'd have killed the Geth with no regrets, and I'd have been wrong.
I think that's debatable.
Donald, that is not debatable. Saving the Geth has been a positive in every way.
Geth upload itself in there.
No, the only person who gets inside my suit is you.
Well, damn, that's all you had to say.
Nothing stands between us now. Whatever the galaxy throws at us, I'll be at your side. By the way, I left something for you up in your cabin. Go have a look.
All right, let's go ahead and look at the picture.
Man, I can't believe they thought this would suffice as a face reveal.
It was worse in the original Mass Effect 3, which showed us a Photoshop of some random stock image.
It's nice of Tally to leave this for us, though.
Not a fan of how humanoid the faces look.
It's bad enough that the Asari look human.
And that brings us to the end of the Quarian-Geth conflict.
Come on, admit it, I handled the primes pretty good.
Yes, well done, Joe.
It was a fluke like all the other times you defied the odds.
It's not a fluke if it keeps happening, Donald.
We're entering the final stretch here, but still several episodes to go. You know the drill, though. Stay safe out there, drink plenty of water, get some sleep, and we'll see you on the next one.